Hey guys, it's Naïka. I figured since I'm doing vlogs now on my YouTube channel, I thought it would be a cool idea to maybe do a video about my journey so far as an independent artist. I'm personally really proud of everything that I've been able to accomplish up to this point, and I think it could also maybe, I don't know, be insightful in some way for other independent artists that are trying to make it in this industry. Also, I'm just leaving this here so that when I pop off, nobody can tell me that I'm an industry plant. Okay? Thank you very much. I'm an only child and I grew up in a relatively strict household. I've always loved creating. It's something that I've always done. I loved making something out of nothing. And from an early age, my future was kind of set out for me that I would go to business school, or that I would become a lawyer, marry a rich man. And then I said,
Mom, I am a rich man.
but I always knew that this is what I was going to be doing. One way or another, I knew I was going to make it happen. I didn't know how, I didn't know when, but I knew it was going to happen. So, as some of you already know, for my dad's job, we moved a lot. Every 3 to 4 years, I was changing countries. When I was 15, I lived in South Africa in Johannesburg, and my dad really unexpectedly lost his job. So, my parents didn't really know what to do at that point. And then they decided to start their life over in the United States. So we moved to Miami, which is where I was born. And for me, I saw this as like the opportunity of my life to make my dream come true in America. Needless to tell you guys, when I moved to the United States from South Africa, my life was literally, guys, like the plot of Mean Girls. Mean Girls is one of my favorite movies, also one of the movies that I relate to so much. Yo, I moved to America. I remember going to the schools and everything was like so big and I was so lost. Like, I remember walking through the halls and seeing the cheerleaders and the big yellow buses and the football players. And I'm just like, even the fact that there was vending machines in the school was mind-boggling to me. Anyways, when I moved to America, I started involving myself in anything that I can that was musical, right? I was in all the school plays, auditioning. I'd be listening to the radio to see if there was any auditions that I could join, doing showcases around Miami. I was really trying to grab onto anything that I could that was like remotely close to music or even acting or anything like that. And then I remember one day in school, I was in my choir class and this girl who was a senior walked in and everybody was so excited and screaming, oh my God, she got into Berklee, she got into Berklee College of Music. And I'm like, oh, what is this school? And everyone starts telling me, it's like one of the biggest schools in the United States for music and contemporary music, especially and everything. So then, of course, now my next mission is I need to get into Berklee. I applied the year after and I got in. First thing my mom tells me when I got in is, who's going to pay for this for you? Because this tuition was insane. Obviously, American schools are crazy, insane tuitions. Ended up figuring it out. I got some loans, grants. I even got a scholarship. So here I am at Berklee College of Music. And for the first time in my life, I'm around other people that love music as much as I do. But for me, I just got there like, hey guys, I love to sing, I make music, I like to write songs. Everybody looked like they came out of their mother's wombs playing insane scales and riffs. Like all the vocalists, they were like crazy riffers. And I became so intimidated by all of this. It was really intimidating for me because everybody was so much more advanced than I was, and had been doing this for so long. And I just had my passion and my dreams in my pocket. But one thing about me, I'm gonna learn. So I was in my shell, I would say the first couple of years, but I was observing everyone and I was practicing so hard. The bar was high, but I'm grateful for that and I appreciate that because it really showed me what it is to be a good musician. And I'm so grateful for that education. But I will say that after 2 years though, I was ready to make my dream come true of moving to Los Angeles and pursue my dream in the real world. Before I moved to LA, I dropped my very first single while I was still in school in Boston. And to get that single heard, I remember reaching out to so many YouTube channels and I was like, guys, if you ever need music for your videos, like please take my song. I'm just trying to get the song heard. Only one channel reached back out and they used the first maybe 10 or 15 seconds of my song in the beginning of their video as the intro. But next thing I know, everybody started Shazamming it to know what song this was. So the Shazams are coming in and it's translating to streams. And now I'm getting like 10,000 streams a day. Next thing I know, I'm getting hit up by labels. And at the time, I was under the impression that a label was what I needed to get discovered and to blow me up. I thought that that was like the path that I had to take. I ended up signing with a German label. Needless to say, guys, this didn't go well. Like, I didn't have a team, I didn't have experience, I didn't even have any other music out. But thankfully, it wasn't like a deal that I was necessarily stuck in for like 6 albums or anything like that. It was just a couple of singles. And signing this deal also helped me get some money together to move to Los Angeles. So I moved to LA and I just started grinding, guys. I was in studio sessions every single day. I was sometimes in 2 sessions a day, sometimes even 3 sessions a day. I was performing everywhere that I could. I was doing showcases all around LA. I was doing bars. I was doing casinos. I was doing malls. I was doing everything you could. I was doing weddings. I used to do a lot of weddings to make money back in the day. And I would also do, guys, I cannot believe I'm exposing myself like this. I would also do, those top 100 lounge versions? Like they take big pop songs and then they turn them into lounge jazzy versions and then they'll play them in like coffee shops or anything like that. I would do a lot of those. I've probably done like hundreds of those. It would make me money back in the day. All this to say, the hustle was hustling, Like, I remember playing a show. Oh my God, at the time for these showcases and these gigs, I had to bring in 20 to 25 people. If I wasn't bringing in that minimum number of people for my performance, then I wouldn't get paid. And also, it was kind of like a bad look. Oh my God, guys. I remember one time I had a show and there was 2 people in the crowd. 2 people, and those 2 people were my roommates. There was more people on stage with me because it was all my friends. We were more on stage than there was people in the crowd. Meanwhile, I'm also writing my first EP. And I knew I didn't want to release this EP with the label, and I knew I wanted it to be independent. So after a year and some change, I was able to get out of my label deal. I found a manager. I started getting my resources together, and I'm ready to release my debut EP, my first baby. Lost in Paradise Part 1. Everything is aligned. I'm ready to release it. And then, boom, COVID hits. So now I'm thinking, what do I do? Do I drop this? Do I wait? Like, finally, I was like, you know what? There's always going to be a need for music. So I decided, okay, I'm going to drop the EP. And I feel like the start of my professional career is when I dropped my first EP. And, since then, it's just been learning and growing and figuring it out as we go, get resources where we can. I went on my first tour ever in 2022. And it was like the most surreal experience because it was the first time that I had, real music out and I was performing and people knew the lyrics and were singing them with me. And it was the most insane experience. I was managing myself after that for like 6 months. And obviously I needed help. So I called my dad and eventually made him part of the team. And so now I work with my dad and it's so amazing and it brings me so much happiness. It took me a while to end up finding the right manager. And then it hit me, thought about my friend Marta, who I went to college with in Boston. And I've been watching Marta like just killing it, like building businesses and just being such a boss lady in the real world. And I remember I was sitting down in my living room and I was just tossing and turning. I was like, who is going to be my manager? Because I wanted somebody that knew me already and I just didn't want to go through like the trial and error. And then it hit me. I'm like, Marta. Of course, it's Marta. Marta and I, we were friends in college, but we weren't like besties, we had a class together. But she had moved to LA as well, like a couple of years before. And she was always coming to my shows. Like every time I had something, she was always there. Always been so supportive. So when I thought about her, ding, ding, ding moment. And so we've been working together for almost a year now. And it's been amazing. And one of my songwriters that I love working with, Noemi, we wrote Belle Belle together and we wrote Milkman together, a lot of songs together. And Noemi also just onboarded on the team a couple of months ago. She's helping us so much with, not just as a songwriter, but she's been core team. Like she's helping with admin and content creation and stuff like that. And now here we are. We just have a team of beautiful, amazing boss ladies and I'm so grateful for them. Now I'm working on my first album that's coming out this year. I'm just excited. Everything is like coming together, hopefully, con Dios. And yeah, that's my journey so far, guys. And I just want to end this video by saying thank you guys so much for being on this journey with me. I'm so so grateful beyond words. Thank you for helping me make my dreams come true. My dreams ever since I was a little girl. I'm sending so much love to you guys, and stay tuned for the album. Love you.